December 6th at 6:30 p.m. The prayer by
That's fine.
It's calling Miss Yancey. It decided to call her. We'll call the meeting to order. The prayer be by our planning director, Mr. Scott Ankerson. Our pledge of allegiance will be by Councilman Anderson of Ward 4.
Father God, we bow before you tonight to give you thanks and honor. We thank you for the responsibility that you've given us, God, to take care of this city and move forward in a positive direction. We ask for your continued wisdom in doing so. And we ask you for unity in this council tonight as we conduct city business. God, we ask that you remind us through this holiday season what Christmas is about your Son, the gift that you've given us, God, to save us from our sins, God. We thank you for that gift. We thank you for Jesus. We ask all this in his name.
Unknown caller.
Please join me in the pledge. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Mr. Ankerson, and thank you, Councilman Anderson, and thank you, Councilman Galat, for the reminder to please silence all your electronic devices.
I didn't even know I had it in my pocket.
Councilman George, have you got online yet?
Yes, I'm here.
Thank you. We hope you get to feeling better. That brings us to agenda order approval. Is there any changes, Ms. Yancey?
Yes, Mayor. On item 5, number 1, so business agenda item number 1, on page 2, it should say Adam College. It says Alderman at large. It should say Council at large. A corrected resolution will be prepared. On agenda order, I need to pull item, business agenda item number 2. And on announcements number 3, it should read Friday, December 23rd and Friday, December 26th.
Do we have any other changes? Do we have a motion to approve the agenda order approval with changes presented by the city manager, Ms. Yancey?
So moved.
Motion by Councilman College. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Galat. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. That brings us to announcements by Ms. Yancey.
Now, Gautier Senior Center Cajun Christmas Party.
Cameron's vote.
Oh, Cameron. Councilman George, how did you vote?
Yay.
Thank you.
Gautier Senior Center Cajun Christmas Party will be Wednesday, December 14th from 11 a.m. until 1 p.m. We're having a pajama movie night featuring National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. It is hosted by the City of Gautier and the Gautier Mayor's Youth Council, and it will be Friday, December 16th from 7 p.m. until 9 p.m. City offices will be closed Friday, December 23rd, and Monday, December 26th, in observance of the Christmas holiday.
Thank you, Ms. Yancey. That brings us to our presentation agenda, and we have a proclamation recognizing the legacy of Mr. Larry Norwood. If y'all were not at our last meeting, we boasted about all he's done for the city of Gautier and what his family continues to do. I was out of town for the services, but they had a great time, and Mr. Norwood was planning his own birthday celebration for this month, and they went ahead and celebrated that birthday party after his services. I was out of town, but received a lot of phone calls asking what was going on in the city that day with that many cars traveling along Highway 90 going to the convention center. So we're proud to have him in our community. He done a lot for our youth. When I was younger, his son and I graduated together, but he always was very supportive and gave back to the community when needed or asked. The proclamation, the city of Gautier, Mississippi, a proclamation recognizing the legacy of Mr. Larry Norwood. Whereas Mr. Larry Norwood was born December 22nd, 1951 in Prentiss, Mississippi. And whereas although Mr. Norwood was a first-class welder, he is best known for being the owner of Norwood Snowballs, serving the city of Gautier and surrounding communities for over 35 years. And whereas Mr. Norwood always supported local events and festivals by selling not only his famous snowballs, but also his famous chili cheese dogs and homemade pork skins and cracklings. And whereas Norwood Snowballs gave many people their first job, as he also provided others with a second chance to change their life for the better. And whereas Mr. Norwood will forever be remembered as an outstanding businessman, a charitable leader, and a positive mentor for many of our youth. And now therefore, we, Casey Vaughn, Mayor of the City of Gautier, Mississippi, and Council are honored to present this proclamation and recognize the legacy of Mr. Larry Norwood. In testimony whereof I've given under my hand and affixed the seal of the City of Gautier, Mississippi, this, the 6th day of December 2022, Casey Vaughn, Mayor, City of Gautier, Mississippi. Please continue to remember Miss Norwood and his children and grandchildren. He was like a father to his grandchildren and a best friend to his children. And they're going to continue his business, so you will continue to see them around throughout our communities here in coastal Mississippi. That brings us to our business agenda. 1, approval of an ordinance adopting the redistricting of ward boundaries within the city of Gautier, Mississippi. Ms. Jensen.
Yes, Mayor, this is the final ordinance adopting the new ward boundary lines that you had the public hearing on about a month ago. It's reflective of what that public hearing demonstrated. And I believe Attorney Tommy Carden is on the line if anyone has any additional questions.
Mr. Carden, you're on the line.
I'm here.
Okay, thank you. Do we have any public comments on business agenda item number 1? No public comments? Do we have a motion by council approval of the ordinance adopting the redistricting of ward boundaries within the city of Gautier, Mississippi?
So moved.
Motion by Councilman College. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Glott. Any discussion, starting with Councilman George?
No comment.
Councilman Jackson?
No comment.
Councilman Glott?
No comment, finally, other than we fixed Ward 3.
Councilman College?
I think it's a lot better map than we had prior on, so that's all I have, thank you.
Councilman Anderson?
No comment.
Councilman Elbin?
No comment.
I just want to thank you all for working on this, Tommy, and y'all did a great job presenting it and working with each councilman with their concerns about their districting and presenting it to them and letting them us all have an input. And I do agree with Councilman Glott, being former councilman of Ward 3. It was gerrymandered, so I'm glad it is more centrally located and be able to access the citizens as the councilman in that area better. So with that being said, we have a motion by Councilman College, a second by Councilman Glott. All in favor? Motion, Councilman George? Motion carries. Thank you, Tommy.
Mayor, thank you. Members of the council, thank you so much. It's been a privilege working with you all, and we will work with Ms. Yancey on the follow-up items to make sure everything gets finalized properly.
Thank you. Have a good night.
You too.
Ms. Yancey's pulled business agenda item number 2. That brings us to business agenda item number 3, authorization to acknowledge bids and award the Shepherd State Park Kayak Launches and Baco Launch Restoration Project to Fairtide Marine and Construction LLC by Ms. April Stennett.
Yes, Mayor, we received 2 bids for this project to open them on November 4th. Heflin performed a review of the bids and they recommend awarding the contract to Fairtide Marine and Construction, and this would be in an amount not to exceed $92,930.61. Just as a reminder, this is to rebuild the small little pier out there by the boat launch, do a little rehab to the boat launch itself, extend it, add a floating kayak launch at that location, and also add a floating kayak launch at the Marsh Walk location on the north end of the park. We also have Austin Moore on the phone. He called in tonight in case you have any specific questions for him with Heflin.
Thank you, April. Do we have any public comments on business agenda item number 3? No public comments. Do we have a motion to authorize to acknowledge the bids and award the Shepherd State Park kayak launches and boat launch restoration project to Fairtide Marine and Construction LLC not to exceed $92,930.61?
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Gilat. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman College. Any discussion starting with Councilman George?
No comment.
Councilman Jackson?
No comment.
Councilman Gilat?
Do we have a schedule on when this will be done?
We don't have a full project schedule. We'll work that up soon, but it's not expected to take very long, I believe. Austin, if you can hear me, is it 120 days or is it?
Austin, what's the contract duration?
Is he
I
on?
don't have that in front of me at the moment, but I believe it's less than 120 days, more like in the 60 to 90 day range, if I recall.
60 to 90 days. In what period? Are we going to do it right after the first of the year?
No, they wait till they give them a notice to proceed. Once you award the bid,
Right.
they get all their documents in, then they issue a notice to proceed, and their time runs from then. Is that not correct, Austin?
Austin, did you
That's
hear Ms.
correct. I
Jackson?
mean, off the
Okay, so we talking
stuff I would
still,
expect to be fully done in the next 6 months or so,
okay, all right.
pending material lead times.
I was just wanting a ballpark figure, the first 6 months of the year, that's fine.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Austin. Councilman, you got any more?
No? Go
Councilman
ahead.
College?
I'm glad to see this come to fruition. I'm familiar with both these contractors. They've both done good jobs in the past for projects I've been associated with, so I look forward to a good, clean, and worry-free project.
Thank you, Councilman College. Councilman Anderson?
No comment.
Councilman Elvin?
No comment.
Austin, I just want to thank you, along with working with Ms. Shancy and Ms. Tennant, for all y'all's hard work to continue to make our parks in Gautier better and more inviting for tourism here. Last night, we got to hear the chairman of the Tourism Committee in the Senate speak in Ocean Springs at Representative Zuber's town hall, and the importance of tourism here in coastal Mississippi is thriving, and it is not, it is recognized on the state level for all of our area. And she complimented not only Ocean Springs, but the whole South Mississippi. So we thank you for working with our staff, and I know it will be a great project because Baco Park was a phenomenal project. We have a motion by Councilman Lott, a second by Councilman College. All in favor? Councilman George, how do you vote? Motion carries. That brings us to business agenda item number 4, authorization to enter into a professional services agreement with Heflin Engineering for work associated with the conceptual design of improvements to city-owned property adjacent to Buddy Davis Park by Ms. April Stennett.
Yes, sir, Mayor. This is for conceptual master planning design only, in an amount not to exceed $20,000. So we'll begin this, and if we choose to proceed with the project, then we would enter into further design, final design, preliminary design contracts for that. This is just to get the ball rolling and see what can be done out there.
Thank you, Ms. Stennett. Any public comments? No public comments. Do we have a motion by council for authorization to enter into a professional service agreement with Heflin Engineering for work associated with the conceptual design of improvements to city-owned property adjacent to Buddy Davis Park, not to exceed $20,000?
So moved.
Motion by Councilman College. Do we have a second? Second by Councilman Jackson. Any discussion starting with Councilman George? Councilman Jackson?
Yeah, I'm just glad that something getting started over there, so it'll be more to do all over the city. No further comments.
Thank you. Councilman Gilat?
All I can say, it's a long time coming for this area. Finally, we're gonna do something. Start.
Thank you, Councilman Gilat. Councilman College?
Just to let everybody know that's in the audience and in Facebook land, this conceptual, depending on how we get the opinion of probable cost, is to include 2 basketball courts, 2 tennis courts, a splash pad, playground area, and additional parking for that area. Once Heflin comes up with their renderings and preliminary plans, we'll see what we can do for soliciting fundings and hopefully make this thing become a reality. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman College. Councilman Anderson?
Oh, yes. Will someone describe the exact area in relation to the existing Buddy Park now? There's no photos in here.
It's directly east.
Adjacent.
Directly east
Yeah.
It's
on the road
adjacent
coming
to it,
in.
isn't it?
Yeah. What's that?
It's adjacent, correct?
Yeah, it's directly east.
Which side of the road?
It's on the south side.
South side? Okay, so
It's where that old mobile home used to be, Councilman
I'll
Anderson.
show you right
that
now.
was on the north side, wasn't it? Or south
It was
side?
on the south.
Okay.
Where that is.
Okay.
Councilman Elbin?
No, I'm glad to hear this as well, that we're getting recreational planning for this area as well. The youth up in that area deserve somewhere to go.
Thank you. I just want to thank you all again, engineering firm and Ms. Stennett, Ms. Yancey, and Councilman College. When Councilman College was the councilman of Ward 5, where Buddy Davis sits, this was his goal to get this project started and try to help acquire funding for it. For the youth up in that area. It's well needed. As you see what's going on in the world today, the youth need something to do to keep them out of trouble. So, Councilman College, thank you for working with the
It's
city's
just not
staff.
me, it's with everybody, so it takes the support of this entire council to make something like this happen.
Well, it does, but you kept working on your plans, so you get credit for it. Once again, thank all of you. We have a motion by Councilman College, a second by Councilman Jackson. All in favor? Councilman George? Motion carries. Business agenda item number 5, authorization to acknowledge bids and award the contract for the Town Commons Amphitheater to Fletcher Construction Company, Inc. by Ms. April Stennett.
Yes, sir, Mayor. We received 2 bids for this project, opened on October 27th. Mr. John Stolarski performed a review of the bids and recommends approving this contract to Fletcher in an amount not to exceed $4,135,000. This is for construction of the amphitheater and 2 restroom facilities. Additive alternates are not being recommended at this time. And if you have any questions, we have a panel who could answer them for you.
Thank you, Ms. Stennett. Do we have any public comments? No public comments. Do we have a motion by council for authorization to acknowledge bids and award the contract for the Town Commons Park Amphitheater to Fletcher Construction Company, Inc. for $4,135,000? We have a motion by Councilman Gilat, a second by Councilman Anderson. Any discussion starting with Councilman George?
No comment.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Jackson?
Yeah, so this is basically just the amphitheater, it's not the entire park?
That's correct. It's not the rest of the vertical part, it's just the construction of the amphitheater itself.
And 2 restaurants.
And 2 restroom facilities.
Okay. No further comments.
Thank you, Councilman Jackson. Councilman Gilat?
When's the rest of it gonna be done?
Well, the way they've structured it, the amphitheater's gonna jump in here, I don't have this right, but the amphitheater, once it gets to a certain point in construction, you're going to award the remainder of the vertical in the park so that it's all finished at one time. So they're kind of trying to coordinate with each other because you can't, like, for example, finish the Great Lawn when they're gonna be driving trucks back and forth between it. So they're kind of coordinating together to make sure that it's all finished together. It's just gonna be separate bid packages.
Coordinating together with who?
Mr. Seymour and Mr. Starr.
To clarify, because I believe Ms. Yancey said vertical, so the remaining buildings, that's a funding issue, but what she's talking about is the infrastructure and all the paving, all those sidewalks, all the fence grading. Right.
Yeah.
And then the perimeter fencing.
And there's pickleball courts and
We actually,
fire pits and,
That's the rest of Town Commons, the way I look
right,
at it.
that's right.
yeah, so right then.
But this is gonna be that, just the stage itself
The
and restaurant?
amphitheater and the back of house and 2 restrooms facilities, which are separate from the actual amphitheater
Right.
and the back of house. Because that amphitheater is more than just a stage. It's got,
Yeah.
you know, offices, a warming kitchen, and all kind of dressing rooms, that sort of thing for artists. And then the actual seating area, I guess, will be.
Everything to finish it out. We actually had a meeting on site today with the landscape architects and we're working with the pickleball, volleyball, the amenities. We're handling the seating and the access road and the overflow parking, so it's all planned to come together within that 14-month period. But we just need to stay out of John's way for about 3-4 months for him to get out of the ground with his concrete.
Get it out of the ground, but
Nobody do any rain dances between
Absolutely.
what's the completion date?
The bid was for 420 days, so that'll be first quarter of 24, what we're looking at.
Thought we was gonna have a concert there next year,
And 24.
in
Spring
24,
of 24.
May.
Hopefully, yes. I mean, you're,
Maybe before.
yeah, we've been
I like that idea.
coordinating with your promoter, so he is also.
Well, we don't need
Same-
pickleball courts to do a concert there.
Correct.
All right. I ain't got any more questions.
Thank you, Councilman Gilat. Councilman College?
Another step in a positive direction. I look forward to this being completed and another step forward to our downtown whole revitalization and becoming a beacon on the map.
Thank you, Councilman College. Councilman Anderson?
Yeah, glad to see this getting kicked off. Is there a projected start date?
I mean, the contractor actually, thanks to Ms. Yancey, sending him an email to kind of give him a comfort level. I believe he's actually already started procuring things.
Procuring material and stuff? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Good deal.
Mr. Torres
So it
is
shouldn't
very
be long then, huh?
I'm sorry?
Shouldn't be long then.
No, actually, I'm hoping by the new year we can actually have a pre-con.
We're actually, the promoter is actually planning a groundbreaking and bringing in regional press and everything sometime the week of the 16th of January. I just talked to him yesterday.
Okay, good.
I don't know if you know, he emailed me. We're updating renderings for him to, just so that everything's up to date.
Good.
Thank you.
Anything else, Councilman?
That's all.
Councilman Elbin?
No comment.
Once again, it's a positive day for us to be able to do this. Citizens keep wondering if it's really happening. It is really happening. So tonight, when we award this, it's always good to be able to give your your projects to local contractors. Their employees live in your community. They give back, they eat at your local restaurants, they pay their taxes here. So it's always good and a privilege to be able to award a contract to a local contractor that stands behind their work. Fletcher Construction, Mr. Hank Torgeson and Mr. Lance McCarty, one being a Gautier resident, are excited about this project, and I think they will do their best to get it completed as fast as material will allow.
They do an awesome job on every project they do.
That's correct. So we have a motion by Councilman Gilat, a second by Councilman Anderson. All in favor, Councilman George? Motion carries. That brings us to business agenda item number 6, approval of task order 6 for professional services agreement with Seymour Engineering for work associated with the Town Commons Park project by Ms. April Stenen.
Yes, sir, Mayor. This is a good follow-up to that last one because this helps John get paid for all the work he's done already on the project. So this is for a total of $311,837.72. This is all related to Town Commons Amphitheater for architectural and engineering design, bidding, construction, administration, and resident project representation.
Thank you, Ms. Tennant. Do we have any public comments on business agenda item 6? No public comments. Do we have a motion to approve of the task order number 6 for professional services agreement with Seymour Engineering for work associated with Town Commons Park project in the amount of $81,662, $311,837.72.
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Gilat.
Second.
Second by Councilman Anderson. Any discussion, starting with Councilman George?
No comment.
Thank you, Councilman George. Councilman Jackson?
No comment.
Councilman Gilat?
No comment.
Councilman College?
No comment.
Councilman Anderson?
No comment.
Councilman Elbin?
No comment.
And John, you know, and the engineering firm, Seymour Engineering, the staff, thank y'all, but John, you've really gone above and beyond, so the news loves your flyovers, so I hope you've got one prepared for them. So we have a motion by Councilman Gilat, a second by Councilman Anderson. All in favor? Councilman George? Motion carries. That brings us to business agenda item number 7, authorization to enter into a memorandum of understanding with Jackson County for the Jackson County Animal Shelter Water Distribution System by Ms. Paula Yancey.
Yes, this, if you'll recall, we're running water out to the animal shelter, and the county is constructing a new animal shelter. And we had an agreement at the very beginning, and where we would pay the engineering and I think the 80-something for the bore up under Highway 90, and that they would cover the rest of it. Well, in the process of Seymour designing it, the system had to be looped in order to get enough water pressure. So because it had to be looped, it added additional cost. So this memorandum is basically for the purpose of bringing up to date that the county is going to pay all the additional costs required from looping the system and to bring the water from after the bore from Highway 90 to where it needs to go. That's basically what this is, and it was prepared by the county.
Thank you, Ms. Yancey. Any public comments on business agenda item number 7? None. Do we have a motion by council to enter into a memorandum of understanding with this Jackson County for Jackson County Animal Shelter Water Distribution System?
So moved.
Motion by Councilman College. Do we have a second?
Second.
A second by Councilman Gilat. Any discussion, starting with Councilman George?
No comment.
Councilman Jackson? Councilman Gilat?
Now,
Councilman College?
hang on.
I thought you said,
I got a
I'm
question.
sorry.
I remember when we were talking about this a couple of meetings ago, when we run this line under Highway 90, we will have enough to go east and west?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's all I want to know. I'm fine.
Okay. Councilman College?
This is just one of several projects. We're in partnership with the county, make this city a better place, and with the county's assistance, we're making these things happen.
Thank you, Councilman College. Councilman Anderson?
No comment.
Councilman Nelson?
No comment.
I just want to thank the city staff and with the partnership working with Supervisor Taylor and the Board of Supervisors, and also the county administrator, Mr. Brian Fulton, and also their engineer, Matthew Hosey. There's been several meetings, and I've attended some of them, and it's always in a positive light to make it work. And who's got to go ask for funding? It's just always been a great thing to make it work for the betterment of Gautier and the citizens. So once again, thank you all. And we have a motion by Councilman College, a second by Councilman Gilat. All in favor? Councilman George? Motion carries. Business agenda number 8, authorization to acknowledge bids, reject lowest bid, and award the contract for the Seacliffe Subdivision Roadway Improvement Project to Bottom to Top Construction LLC by Ms. Paula Yancey.
We went out for bid on Seacliffe Subdivision to repair the concrete streets and bring the existing streets and drainage up to par the way it's supposed to be. We actually did alternates, 3 alternates. We have enough funding to award the entire project, which basically means the entire subdivision will be all repaired and the drainage brought up to par and the entire thing will be fixed. Seymour Engineering used bids, and of course council has the option to award it to the lowest and best bid. There were some things that have been substantiated by Seymour Engineering by letter that made the low bidder not the best bidder, and you have a letter to back that up. And so basically this is finding that the lowest and best bid is bottom to top and awarding the bid to complete Seacliffe.
Thank you, Ms. Yancey. Any public comments? No public comments. Do we have a motion to acknowledge bids, reject the lowest bid, and award the contract for the Seacliffe Subdivision Roadway Improvement Project to Bottom to Top Construction LLC, not to exceed the amount of $936,112.63?
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Gilat. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman College. Any discussion, starting with Councilman George?
No comment.
Councilman Jackson?
Yeah, so there's not gonna be any conflict with this company in this decision, is that correct?
That's correct.
So they aware?
We made sure we met the requirements of the law, yes.
Okay. All right, no further questions.
Councilman Gilat?
Start tomorrow?
Honestly, on this one, there's not, shouldn't be a large lead time on material. It's just concrete and steel, so.
Just gonna be getting the contract signed on bonds and insurance.
Basically, got concrete cages, so
Yeah.
we'll reach out to them tomorrow, let them know, and I'll follow up with you guys, and we'll get a start date for you.
Somehow I would like to know, because I don't want to provide minutia detail, but I would like for the citizens in that area to know what kind of schedule would be done, what streets would be done first, and what areas, so, because it's going to be a nightmare getting in and out of that subdivision with the amount. I know, I was looking at the number of panels that's going to be changed, and I think you're going to have to work closely with the fire department and the police department for emergency, going egress in and out of there. because there's only 2 roads in.
Right.
There's only 5 roadways in there, but there's only 2 entrances to the subdivision. And so the police and fire has to be aware of what particular block off or whatever it is, how it's ever going to work. Okay, that's my number one concern to doing that in that particular area. I'll live in there and y'all can do my street first. And I know it'll probably be done last, I suspect.
They're gonna use your front lawn as a staging area.
Do what?
They're gonna use your front lawn as a staging area.
And that's fine, I don't care. And what used to be an empty lot next to me, and they're gonna use that, but those people moving has been sold. That's it, I don't have anything else.
Thank you, Councilman Gluck. Councilman College,
I'm glad to see this project happen. That's all I have.
Councilman Anderson,
No comment.
Councilman Elvin.
No comment.
As Councilman Gluck says, it's a long time coming, and I just want to thank the city manager and Mark Seymour with Seymour Engineering and the city staff in Clearwater, Ramona, all y'all for working together to do what was best and at the most cost-effective way to keep the neighborhood still in its traditional neighborhood state. And also thank Clearwater. There's been a lot of failing parts in that neighborhood, and y'all done a, in the very back, y'all had to reconstruct the whole concrete road at the very end of Marianne, and those residents down there were ecstatic and very pleased. So the resident there didn't tip over in their wheelchair checking their mail. So y'all might not have heard the thank you, but it didn't go unnoticed, and they were very appreciative. So we have a motion by Councilman Gilat, a second by Councilman College. All in favor? Motion carries. Oh, Councilman George? Motion carries. That brings us to business agenda item number 9. Approval of the docket of claims by our city clerk, Ms. Teresa Montgomery, and deputy clerk, Ms. Emily Dickerson. They've been provided to the council by digital and also been posted on the website. So she is not, that's her presentation. That brings us to any public comments on the docket of claims. None. Do we have a motion by council?
I make a motion, we approve the docket of claims, provided that all entries thereon are true, correct, properly entered, and not fraudulent.
We got a motion by Councilman College. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Gilat. Any discussion starting with Councilman George?
No comment.
Councilman Jackson?
No comment.
Councilman Gilat?
No comment.
Councilman College?
No comment.
Councilman Anderson?
No comment.
Councilman Elvin?
No comment.
Thank you, Teresa and Emily, for keeping the budget in line and paying the bills. We have a motion by Councilman College, a second by Councilman Gilat. All in favor? Motion carries. Councilman George? Motion carries. That brings us to our consent agenda. All items will be approved in one motion unless anyone wants to pull one. Does anybody want to pull any consent agenda item? No.
I do have just one comment, though, for the consent agenda item, county roadway paving list. Wards 4 and 5 are swapped out on the list. So
Yes,
I've already made city staff aware, so that way
Yes.
when we get the one posted online, it'll be corrected.
We were made aware of it, right before the meeting.
Okay. Thank you. So that'll be changed. Okay, that's consent agenda item number 1, approval of the minutes from recess council meeting held November 15, 2022. 2, receive September and October 2022 finance reports. 3, approval of the 2022/2023 county road paving list with the changes between the wards. 4, authorization to accept access, drainage, and temporary construction easement for Jackson County Civic Action / Gautier Head Start Drainage Pipe Project. 5, authorization to enter into a grant agreement with the Mississippi Department of Marine Resources for the FY 2023 Tidelands funding for the Shepherd State Park Upgrades Project. 6, authorization to enter into a grant agreement with the Mississippi Department of Marine Resources for the FY 2023 Tidelands funding for Mary Walker Bayou Parks Project. 7, authorization to enter into an agreement with Levi Hall regarding the donation of a trained police canine to the city of Gautier while Officer Hall is employed. Do we have a motion to approve consent agenda items 1 through 7?
So moved.
Got a motion by Councilman Gilat. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman College. All in favor? Councilman George? Motion carries. That brings us to our study agenda. Number 1, discuss citizen comments. You can come to the podium, state your first and last name and your address, and you have 3 minutes to speak. Any citizen comments? None? No citizen comments? That brings us to number 2, discuss council comments. It's the first meeting of the month, so we'll start with Councilman George.
I have no comment.
Thank you, Councilman George. Hope you get the film better, buddy. Councilman Jackson. Councilman Jackson, any council comments?
Yes, I got carried away here. We were discussing.
Got interrupted.
Yeah, I just wanted to say about when we were discussing about, oh, wait a minute, my bad. He threw me off. No comment. No comment.
You don't have no council comments?
No, sir.
Okay. Councilman Gilat.
We sure spent a lot of money tonight. That's it.
Councilman College.
Well, I mean, it might be a lot of money, but I tell you what, it's a great Christmas present to the city of Gautier. All the
That's
projects that we
absolutely correct.
allocated here, more things to come next year. Great positive, fantastic day. Do have a question. I did notice that the boat launch at the Fairway was not included. It was not approved for 2023 Tidelands funds. I know we have that as a project for 2024, so whatever phone calls I need to make or somebody else on council needs to make to see if we can get those funds to rework that boat launch would be fantastic. The last comment is it's great to see that Seacliffe is getting the much needed pavement improvements. Have we heard anything on Cambridge Square as far as what we've applied for on that? Because that subdivision is equal.
We're not granted the.
We were not?
Road and emergency road and bridge repair fund application that we applied for. But now my understanding is Clearwater has completed the work in Cambridge Square that we were working on. Is that correct?
The drainage?
Yes, ma'am.
That drainage, but the roadways are in dire need of improvement, so.
We did not receive that part of it.
Okay, well, I know y'all are very resourceful, so we could find some other means of financing to improve the roadways in that street. That's one of the top priorities I know for Councilman Ward 4, myself, and the mayor. That's all I have.
Thank you, Councilman College. Councilman Anderson.
Yeah, we did spend a lot of money tonight, no doubt. What y'all were just discussing was Cambridge Square. We were going after a special
Emergency road and bridge repair fund.
and we didn't get that for Cambridge Square. How long have we known that? It never was brought to my attention. But I did find it out through the...
I think I mentioned it to you because I was pretty upset that we didn't get it because I worked pretty hard trying to get it.
Because I took the road off the paving list in there because I didn't realize that because there was no sense in us paving a road. We was going to go in there and repair sewer drainage and all, you know.
Well, those were concrete, correct?
Yeah.
That's what I thought. So really, it'd be difficult to put them on a paving list because according to what I've been told, you don't, Adam may know more, but you don't asphalt over concrete. But you do have another option. So the same thing that was enabling you to accomplish Seacliffe would enable you to accomplish Cambridge Square as far as the literal roads. I believe Mark's estimate included a reworking of drainage and not just the road part. So, you know, you're at 100% on your use tax funds now. You know, it started out at 25 and it graduated. So there will be opportunities for you to get that done through a different means.
Yeah, there's a couple of roads in there that are concrete. They've been asphalted over.
Oh, they have?
Oh, yeah.
Some of them have.
But the concrete's buckling through the asphalt, and a lot of the asphalt's gone, but they're in terrible shape. But Clearwater did go in there and fix those speed bumps and that buckling in most of the areas. And but now they need to be temporarily paved a little bit in those patches instead of just having crushed rock in them for now until we do something.
You're talking about where the patches have been, go over it with...
Where they cut the concrete out and took the speed bumps out.
Lawrence, can y'all do that?
Next time we get the hot asphalt, that's on the list to get those.
Yeah, when it dries up and we get some hot asphalt, let's try to patch those areas for those people. Because every time it comes one of those 2-inch frog sprinklers like we had the other morning, it's just gonna wash that stuff out like it did on Martin Bluff Road.
If they run this week, the plan was to go ahead and get some of that.
Okay. And there's another street that I hadn't even brought up yet. Nobody's even complained about it. If I lived there, I'd move. But it's Briarcrest in Westgate.
Yeah.
It's in worse shape than Cambridge Square. And I can't believe the people in there aren't complaining, but we got to look at it too. The same thing, it's concrete. And I don't think it's ever been asphalted over, but it's a mess. Is it Briargate or Briarcrest?
I think it's Briarcrest.
Okay, yeah. What else did I have? Oh, sorry I missed the Christmas party. I fell under the weather Saturday morning and did a little blackout, but I guess I'm all right. But anyway, I hate I missed the Christmas festivities, and I hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving. Thank you. That's all.
Thank you, Councilman Anderson. Councilman Elbin?
Clearwater, I don't know if you already have it on the schedule for frontage road. It's got a lot of debris on it again, a good bit of it. If you could send a crew up pretty quick, that'd be great. Scott and Ms. Yancey, thank you for the quick response on the DeSantis group home. If we could just make sure we followed up. I went out there today and it's in pretty daggone bad shape. And I didn't realize that was their private drives. I thought it was entrances into the amphitheater area, but it's theirs. I imagine when it rains, it floods.
Scott and I went right after you sent the email, and both of us looked at it.
Yeah.
And so we're still working towards getting it repaired.
Okay. Well, thank you for that response. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Councilman Elbin.
Yeah.
Councilman Jackson?
Yeah, so I kind of missed my comment because I was doing something over here. So Benji mentioned that about the pavement. That's one thing. Now that just brought my attention to that. Of course, my ward, that's the whole ward. It's concrete, the whole ward. Dealer Forest, West Park, College Park, all that is concrete. And I did address the issue, when I went up from 2017, I was like, is there going to be any milling? They said no milling, and they paved over the top of the concrete, so, and it's been like that even beforehand, before I even did any paving in my ward. It was already concrete, and it was already paving on top of the concrete. So which is that issue. The issue behind that with my ward is that it creates flooding. Like certain areas have pockets, and it creates little pockets of where the water just sits and settles. And I addressed the issue of milling because it creates those unbalance. When you put pavement on top of it, you got concrete over here. You're a few inches off, the water doesn't flow. So, if anything gonna be addressed by that, it wouldn't be doing me any good to pave all the streets that I have right now on this, and then I'm gonna turn around, because it's on concrete. It's gonna, like Linwood, that's gonna be on top of concrete. It haven't been paved before. It's gonna be on top of concrete. So if we're addressing this issue now, about milling them and things like that, then, you know, I don't think it'll do us any justice that I go over and start paving all these streets. Because it's gonna eventually crack like any other street. I mean, all of them does that. For years, it's just been that, even before me, that's all they've done. They just paved over the concrete.
Well, now I'll tell you, the main, I think that's the main entrance in that Westgate Drive or whatever, that's what he did to that. The whole paved over that concrete, no sir. He paved over that concrete, and it's still.
It's been paved over twice, I think.
That was his first time.
That was the first.
It was about 3 years ago, 2 years ago. Does it still look?
3, it still looks.
But they have to mill it first,
I mean, if it was bucked, I'm sure they did, but I mean, they didn't.
They milled it in
like,
sections.
pull up all the concrete and lay down a new road bed.
Right. I mean, if the only way to create a solution for that, you would have to pull up the whole concrete, and then, because even if you mill it, you still got these sections. It's no matter what, they're gonna breathe unless you find some kind of way to seal them, and they're gonna breathe. So it's gonna leave those squares in straight through the pavement all throughout the city. You know, I mean, that's just the only way to properly pave that street. You would have to mill that concrete and then pave it.
Well, they do have, I mean, if you look on Linwood, they've got actually 2,160 square yards of millage on there.
Okay.
And same with Carroll, they've got 2,200 square yards of millage. All of them have milling on there.
Okay, so in the past, they didn't mill them.
Yeah.
What you need to make sure of, Richard, is if they got any buckling in there anywhere, they need to cut a section of that buckling out and pack it with something before they pave it, or it's just gonna buckle through the
Yeah,
asphalt.
the joints will show right through the asphalt.
Right.
That's what happened on Fairway, is they didn't prepare it right. They just went over with asphalt, and you know, after one hot summer, it's
Yeah, but I also got spots though that's been paved twice. You know what I'm saying? So now you're looking at how you gonna get above that. You're gonna have to. I mean, how you gonna get above that? You know, even if I mill this street and then turn around, bump it into the CW well, how you gonna get above it? You see what I'm saying? You have to pave it twice in order to level it out, to make it equal out. And those just the issues that's gonna keep running into until, you know, because we didn't mill. I asked them, were they gonna mill CW well? They said no, and it already had paved it, and started paving it, you know, and it just that's gonna be an issue. That wasn't gonna be my original discussion, but when you brought it up, you know, and I looked at the paving list, and I'm thinking about, dang, you know, yeah, let's address this issue now. So anyway. I guess we'll go further into that, you know, as we get closer to the streets getting paved. And so, Mr. Norwood, you know, just to give a brief understanding of how I am connected with Mr. Norwood, he was actually married to my cousin. And children, of course, family and things like that. So he's family to me. And he gave me one of my first jobs. I was working for Norwood when I was a little child. I was a little hustler, you know. I was all about money when I was little. I was always trying to make a little job or something like that. And so, now I don't work for nobody now. That's probably, you know, it's hard for me to work for people, you know, like the job. You know, there was times where, you know, when I started DJing and things like that, he would take me to these crazy places. One was called Cedar Creek, and so I used to work for him when he would go to Cedar Creek. And then when I started DJing, he said, hey, let me hire you on. You come out, and we out in the middle of the woods, and I do mean the woods. And it's like trenches to drive through it, and he has me DJing in these different areas. So he's a businessman, and there was a lot of people out there, strangely, in the woods, you know, but, he was a great businessman. He was great to work with. I grew up knowing him. He's always been a good guy, and that's pretty much all I have to say. And plus, Anthony Snow texted me something. He was saying, I think it was addressing
Ocean Springs annexation.
No, not that yet, not that, but about the amphitheater area and all that, the Town Commons Park. You said, what about the additional alternative 2 for concession building?
We did not recommend awarding that. We had actually 3 alternates. One was a concrete wall behind the back of the house, which your promoter says you don't need. The additional concessions and the additional restrooms we put out as alternates. The reason we did not award them, had to pick one, I'd have picked the concession stand. That's not literally a concession stand, but a place where you can serve food out of. The reason we did not award it was that it was always the plan to go with portable food service at those events. And your budget, your total budget for both the park and the amphitheater, I had to leave enough for you to finish the park. So this maxed out to leave you so you can have enough to finish the rest of the park. That's why I recommended not awarding at this time. It's always something you can add later if you want to.
Plus, it's probably good for business to open up restaurants and things like that, so they can make money off of it, etc.
The infrastructure will be there if the city decides to add them later. So it's not like shooting ourselves in the foot.
Sounds good.
It's still.
I hope Mr. Anthony Snow saw that.
I'm sure he heard it. Is that all you had?
Yes, sir, that is all.
Ms. Yancey and Ms. Morgan, can we get with Councilman Jackson on his paving list in the county and make sure we all feel comfortable when they pave, we're not going to have flooding issues due to the road?
I'm just going to talk to him about it tomorrow.
Okay, thank y'all. I just want to thank, once again, you know, I hate we had council members who were sick and not able to attend, and I'm glad they're feeling well and are here this evening with us. But Saturday was phenomenal. Councilman College and myself had a great time riding the city float, and the planning department did a great job pulling us, and clerk's office and youth council, everybody who decorated the council float did a phenomenal job. The parade had great attendance as far as floats compared to years past. It was equivalent about, and I just think it got everybody in the spirit. As far as seeing the city staff at that event come together and work to put that on for the citizens of Gautier was just unbelievable. We had, I don't think there was not one department not recognized. And that's to show something. We're a small city and we can't have those kind of events without all groups, departments, hand on deck. And Ms. Yancey, you do a great job encouraging your staff to participate. As far as Gautier Pride's partnership with the donor of the fireworks, if you missed that fireworks show, you missed a great one, because as we continue to hear the positive about the fireworks show from residents of our neighboring cities, it just makes you feel good when you have something in your city that they recognize and go spread in a positive way. I hate the rain, but thanks to Chastity, you made some hard, tough decisions in a matter of seconds. And when you had to do that, they were in the betterment of the children's safety, the employees' safety, and everybody there, and you did a great job. And people wanted to relay that to you. I know it's a hard decision when we have to change things. I apologize to the citizens who have complained about us shooting our fireworks early. However, we had to due to inclement weather coming in, and had we not, we would have not had any fireworks. So thank you, Chastity, for that. Also, thanks to all the characters, the Rudolph, the Grinch, Cindy Lou Who, Santa Claus, everybody who had to wear those hot outfits on that hot day preparing. It was, that was kudos to them. Also, we have a new officer. She's been here a little while now, maybe about 5 months, I would say, Officer Ward. And she wanted to do Shop with the Cop. And she wanted to tackle that and to promote her department, the Gautier Police Department, and to promote our city in a positive way, because she's had nothing but positivity in her career since she's been here, and she boasts about it on her social media. If you don't see it, she's thankful for her job here in the city of Gautier, and she gives back to the community she works. So I encourage everybody to go to the City of Gautier Police Department's Facebook page. You still have time to support the cause if you feel the need to do that. Also, I want to thank Clearwater in your fast response to meet me at Singing River Apartments on Gautier Van Cleve Road on Sunday evening when we received an emergency call with residents having sewage, and to prove it was not on our end, to DQ when we had to call them to come to the rescue of the tenants there. I want to thank our state agency, Mississippi Department of Environmental Quality, for working with the property owners and also our city staff to make sure those residents are taken care of. They did a great job. They were fast. They were here within 30 minutes on a foggy night coming from the coastal county to the west. And I think that is a great response time, and the residents at Singing River Apartments appreciated the city's fast response and the state agency's fast response. I just want to say thank y'all again for everything, and y'all have a great week, because it's phenomenal in Gautier. Also, one more thing, Representative John Reed, we have seen him several times, myself and Ms. Yancey, over the last couple of weeks, and he does a great job. If you see him out and about, please thank him and our coastal delegation for what they do for South Mississippi. I mean, we get a good chunk of money for our projects, and it's the partnership they have with the delegation up in the north and the central districts. So if it wasn't for those partnerships, it would not be that easy to get that funding. So thank them. Thank Representative Reed. He is our representative. And thank him for his hard work, because he is out there working, and he does attend our city events. You might not see him, but he was there at the parade route. He was there at our events this weekend. So we want to give him kudos for his hard work. With that being said, I don't think I'm forgetting.
Sorry, you had an additional item.
Oh, yes. Did y'all pick that up? We have the city attorney. I received an email from a citizen in our city, and Councilman Jackson also, they live in his ward, received a phone call from the citizen requesting us to adopt and send this letter to the host orphans worldwide. They have adopted 2 children into their family that currently live here and that they raise, and they wanted to adopt the siblings, but due to government red tape, they have had some complications, so they have asked that we send a letter that was a form letter that they provided us to send. I would not sign the letter. It requires my signature. I would not sign it without the city attorney's review of it. And also, I felt the board, we should all, Mr. Danos, our city attorney, felt the whole board should, like myself, vote on us supporting this family and other families who continue to adopt children from that area. So, do we have a motion to approve the request to submit the attached correspondence in support of an amendment to Resolution 1167 of the Cabinet of Ministries of Ukraine dated November the 10th, 2021, as amended to permit orphans of the Ukraine and Russia affair to enter and remain in the United States during the pendency of the conflict.
Need a motion?
No,
So
Councilman Jackson made the motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Glut. Do we have any discussion? Starting with Councilman George.
No comment.
Councilman Jackson.
No comment.
Councilman Glut.
No comment.
Councilman College.
No comment.
Councilman Anderson.
No comment.
Councilman Elvin.
No comment.
All in favor? Councilman George. Motion carries. And thank y'all. I know the citizens that have adopted those young, wonderful children and are looking forward to getting their siblings will be very appreciative of the council supporting them and their family. That brings us to our city manager comments.
Yes, Mayor, I have two things. Play off what you said about the recreation department, recreation director in the event. Chastity does a phenomenal job, but I watched her crew set that whole thing up and work at that event, and I just really think that the recreation workers and her crew really deserve some special recognition for everything and all the effort they put in, not only to decorate out here, but to set up that event and put it up. And I had compliments all during the event about how friendly that they were. And they were all out there working with wonderful attitude. So I do want to especially thank them for everything that they did. The second thing is, I emailed you all, but we got a special event permit application from the golf cart parade at Hickory Hills. It looks like to me they've expanded it. It's going to require some road closures. So you have in front of you a resolution approving closure of roads and traffic control measures as described in the application for special event permits submitted by the Hickory Hills Resort for a Christmas parade. I'm sorry for some of my comments, but you did not have another meeting before the parade, and they just submitted this. So if you would approve that, this would enable us to go forward with assisting them with the parade.
Thank you, Ms. Yancey. Do we have a motion to approve the resolution approving closure of roads and traffic control measures as described in the application for special event permit submitted by the Hickory Hills Resort for a Christmas parade?
So moved.
We have a motion by Councilman College, a second by Councilman Elpin. Any discussion, starting with Councilman George?
Okay.
Councilman Jackson?
No comment.
Councilman Glut?
No.
Councilman College?
No.
Councilman Anderson?
No comment.
Councilman Elvin?
Glad they're putting it on again. I believe they tried to have one a year or two ago and it had to be canceled. So I'm glad that we have an opportunity as a community to be involved in that.
Yes, I echo what Councilman Elvin said. Last year they were trying to have it, but due to inclement weather, it had to be canceled, and there wasn't a date to move it to, so before Christmas. So we're glad they're able to try to do it again, and their partnership that they continue to host community events up in the neighborhood community, which is great for economic development and showing the positivity and the growth of the city of Gautier. So we have a motion by Councilman College, a second by Councilman Elbin. All in favor? Councilman George? Motion carries. Is that all you had, Ms. Shancy?
Yes, sir.
That brings us to our city clerk, Ms. Montgomery.
Yes, sir.
Deputy Clerk, Ms. Dickerson, you have anything? No? Our city attorney, Mr. Denosh, you have anything?
Nothing tonight, Mayor.
I think, Planning Director, Mr. Ankerson, you have anything you'd like to say? Okay. Chief Latch? Ms. Philbeck?
I would like to say thank you to all of the departments that pitched in and helped make our event on Saturday a success.
Thank you. And I forgot to mention, and shame on me, for not mentioning Six-String Andrew, who played at our event. Those young, youthful, I think of Councilman Anderson when I hear them playing those guitars and drums, all that. Councilman Anderson plays in our choir some musical instruments, and he's very talented with that. And it makes me think of him seeing the youthful children out there going to Van Cleef High School, playing for national talents in Biloxi at Ground Zero, and here they are in Gautier, Mississippi for our events. It's very touching, and people were asking, where did y'all get them from? Where are they from? I mean, they literally thought they were from out of town, and here they are, Six-String Andrew, and then of course our Parks and Rec directors, two boys up there, and they all go to school together in the bands, so it just energizes you. Ms. Tennant, you have anything? Ms. Morgan? Chief Bevers?
But thing I got is Officer Hall and Canine Tow is out front for the council meeting. After the meeting with the public, wants to see the canine.
And also our officer who got the award. Our officer who got the
Officer
award.
Byron Williamson too was recently honored by the Biloxi Police Department, who he came from. The stuff he did while he was employed there, recognized him for 2021.
That was very nice of him, and kudos to y'all for recruiting him to Gautier, Mississippi. What a blessing that is to have people wanting to come work in Gautier, Mississippi, when we used to struggle in that position due to salary, but now you're doing a great job recruiting, and we appreciate it. Also, I want to thank our police and fire department. Fire department handled Santa Claus in the parade, and also the police department led the parade. They had our new units out there. If you didn't see them, they're mighty nice, and just thank all of y'all. So with that being said, do we have a motion to recess until December the 20th, 2022 at 6:30 p.m.?
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Gluck. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman College. All in favor? Councilman George? Motion carries. We're recessed until December the 20th.